Okay, I'm going to give you the formula to ultimate awakening, ultimate power, absolute ultimate shift in the reality that you choose. This is going to be completely in your control, and absolutely going into a space of everything that you desire, but not from an ego standpoint. I'm going to explain how this works. This is all you have to do, and you can start today to do this. That absolutely is going to not only change your life, but the planet, because we are one. I'm going to talk about how we're connected and how important this is. And we're in it right now. No more shifts and tipping points and what. We're in it. What do we do with this? Because we have a critical 24 months, I'd say. Well, probably another year before you see something drastic start to show up that's going to shift you. Let's shift into that, well, what I'm going to tell you about right now. Let's go. Welcome to Landria on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. Let's have a coffee or a tea. What are we going to talk about today? It's critical. It is critical for you to make decisions for yourself about what you want to do in this lifetime as a human. It exists in an illusion of time. And so whether there's time or not, we know that we are experiencing it here. And that is purposeful, and it was by choice. You also have free will choice to do anything else within it. What are you capable of within this experience as an unconscious human being? We're going to discuss that today. Because you can start to practice it right now, no matter what situation you're in. I'm going to point out exactly what is going on out there, that if you go into this state of being that I'm going to teach you today, share with you today, you will see it all differently and start to detach from it that which is keeping you in separation. So I hope you'll subscribe, because as we know, YouTube's doing something that's unexplainable. No one knows why, but even the channels that I watch with interviews with interesting people are not showing up for me. I have to go seek them out. There are probably amazing channels out there I've never heard of because they're not being offered to me. People have told me the same thing about mine. Your choice is important in every part of your life. This is how the entire planet operates. Your choice directs the quantum field to that space and creates it. It's a desire. So if we all desire something, we create it together. YouTube, the internet, all of it's the same thing, because artificial intelligence looks to give us what we want, or whoever's controlling that algorithm, right? And right now, YouTube's doing it. But we are the consumers of media, of stuff, of food, of you name it. We are the consumers, which means you're 100% in control. You can say, no, I need that. No. Can change anything. So again, I hope you'll subscribe. Those of you who are entrepreneurs, come on down in the description. We're creating planet conscious businesses. You don't need anything except for a desire to earn money doing something amazing for the planet. You're gonna earn? Let's earn money doing something positive that will shift us. So once again, if I say to myself, I want you to think about this. This is your decision to make. If everything in my life is a higher choice, what would happen? Wow, you would see massive changes. So let's talk about that. The key to the next critical months that will continue to snowball and expand and accelerate for you if you make this choice is going to change everything in your life, your reality, and what you experience. Because there's unlimited realities. And I know it's tough because we think that we're all experiencing the same reality when we're not. Now, we may be in the physical world with one another, but your perception and what you experience could be completely different than somebody else who's in the same room with you. That's how it works. So you can change anything. And those who you entangle with will be in your life. And if you go to a different frequency, someone else will come in, and all of a sudden that person is not in your life anymore. Something weird happens. You get the job change, or the spouse leaves, or whatever happens. And you go, wow, I didn't anticipate that. Well, it's because you shifted into a different reality and you no longer entangle with that. And that's how it works in the physical world. So what I want to share with you is, what if you made a choice in every area of your life? So I had to ask myself, as a former investment banker, can I continue to work in a world that is focused on service to self and greed at the expense of everyone? Everyone. It appears that we're doing all these great things, but ultimately it was always about making money. So the choice that was presented in any situation always had to be, where can our investors or us make the highest amount of money? That wasn't a good place to be. So about at least 12 years ago, I quit it all. And I said to myself, and this is a question, here's your question: how can I serve? How can I make choices in every area of my life that are higher? What you consume dictates what is presented to us. The more you go to fast foods, the more they are saying, you love this, we're going to give you more. You don't care if there's chemicals, you don't care how the animals are treated, you don't care. We have to care. That's how important you are. Don't think, oh, my one burger doesn't count. It does. This is when we have to get micromanagement in place. Micromanagement means my thought is changing reality. Studies have proven, Tesla did a whole thing on this, that a lower thought is a lower frequency. A negative thought is a lower frequency. And the results of that are in alignment with everything on that level. Now, I've talked about my father has many mansions. That means there are endless realities creating whatever plays that we are playing, games we are playing. They're mansions. So our mansion, planet Earth, has different floors on it. So it's not that we're all in this. We are in this. So we get to choose the floors within this mansion. It's playing out. I know that you're here, but I may not see you because if you're in the basement, or vice versa. We're aware of each other, but we're not playing on that floor with one another. This is going to be simple stuff for you to wrap your head around without having to go into some, quantum explanation, which no one actually really understands completely either. When you choose a frequency, you choose your reality. It starts with your thought. It starts today. Every single choice has to be on the highest possible frequency at that moment. What's the highest possible frequency? So a lot of you, here's where I started to create things to help you to make higher choices, because it is your choice. And that is, people will tell me they're earning at a place that's not good, positive for the planet, not good for them, the co-workers, whatever, but they have to pay their bills. That is a third, 3D dimensional lower frequency thinking, because it's the program of the unconscious human being that says this is how we function. We get in it and then it's okay because the majority of people do it, but majority are miserable and sick and wondering what this is all about. So you have to make a choice in every area of your life, or else you cannot exist on the penthouse. You can't get up to the penthouse and be doing things that are damaging, right? It's not allowed. Why? Just because it's not in alignment. It doesn't even know. We're missing each other on that freeway, right? Where is it? Where's enlightenment? Well, it's up here going, join us anytime. And you can, today. You say, oh, no, yeah, you can. Maybe you won't experience the total awakening, but although you can. Just ask yourself what every single thought is, what every choice is. when you spray chemicals on your lawn because you'd rather kill your weeds than make a choice to not use plastic or chemicals that go into our water systems that you bathe your babies in. That's where it's going. That's why kids have cancer. That's why animals get cancer. Cancer never has to exist. It's an imbalance because we're poisoning ourselves. You have to make these choices. You have to. Unless you want to stay in the basement. This is very simple. So every single choice you make. Now, let's not start to go into what's good or bad. All right? So in my last video, I said to you that if you say the 3 most powerful words, I don't know, you will stop making choices of what you think is right and wrong, good and bad, because that's separation. I know, because you're like, well, there is right and wrong, good and bad. Is stealing bad? Well, what if your family's starving? Oh, well, no. Is murder bad? Well, what if somebody was coming in to kill your family and you protected yourself? So we can play this game all day, but we know what is a higher choice at the moment. All right? And it's going to change constantly. It has to be for you. Because you're going to evolve in your life into higher frequencies, and the thing that you thought was right back then is not going to be the same thing you think is right when you're here. All of a sudden, you will take the cockroach outside because it wants to survive too. And it's just as precious, as lowly as it is. And the same thing exists with humans. There will be low frequency just bastards out there that do horrible shit, right? That are equally loved as those in the penthouse by Source. And we must go into that space. And it's tough because you want to squash the cockroach. You don't see it as useful. However, there are those that are in power, that hold all kinds of wealth, that look at us as rats and cockroaches. And they see no real purpose for us other than the minions who carry out the orders that help fuel what they desire. But they're functioning from a different space. They are equally as perfect as anyone on the planet, but we look at them as wrong and evil and all this other stuff, and they're not. They are experiencing all that is possible in the oneness, and we can't know what it is. So here is what I want you to do today if you want to play this fun little game, and we are in a game. Can I choose a higher response, thought, action in every moment? In every moment. I used to have an app, and it was, what am I manifesting? And the guys in Canada are like, it's going to take about $15,000 to keep this thing updated. And so if you want to come in on me with me on this app, we can get these guys back up and running. It's already built, and those of you who've used it before, you could set the alarm, and 5 times a day I would come on with music and say, what am I manifesting? I'd get you to, it was a disruptor. All right. So I know some people put rubber bands and things like disruptors. Basically, it's saying you got to catch yourself because you're going to go back into unconsciousness because it's accepted. Because it's a self-serving world. So if everybody's self-serving, it's easy to go into self-service because you're in the basement. It's not easy to get up and go to the next floor. Once you do, you will not connect to that. You won't. You're going to be connecting to the person that smiles at you and says, here, have whatever. Or I have a job for you. Or, oh my gosh, you're beautiful. Or somebody just bought my dinner the other night. That's how it works. Why? Because if you're on a high frequency, people on high frequencies want to be around that. Or lower frequencies sometimes want to be around that because they're tired of being in a low frequency. So you have to stay in the high frequency. And that is just as Tesla said, high frequencies resonate here and they resonate with other high frequencies. And they experience that high frequency reality. They actually experience the reality in the high frequency. Even if they see the low frequency, they're still existing on the high frequency. So they'll see the lower frequencies differently. I don't see anybody in power or wealth as negative. They're playing out what they're supposed to, and we're interacting with it. We chose to interact with it. And they can change their minds anytime they want to. I don't believe anything that's going on right now with our financial systems, with our health, with any of it, is just us trying to help us. I don't. I think there's another agenda going on, because whoever is in charge of that is going to come from their own frequency. And if it's self-serving, it will never work in the favor of the whole. It never will. It affects the whole. So what do we have to do to counterbalance that? Is not to oppose it or blame it, is to make our own decisions, because you are equally as powerful as that. Just because in the material world you don't think you are, that can all change. That can all change by your choices. So if you tell me you have to earn, and that earning is negative on any level, you're still in it. And it's tough, because you think, well, what am I going to do? Well, what did I do? I stepped out of it. I created Digital Explorers. You guys who are in here, we're creating planet conscious businesses. Guess what? We're learning how to use the internet. I know how to do that. I'm an expert coach. Use the internet for good and reach global audiences and earn money doing it. Nothing wrong with earning money. So we're still in the game. We still have a physical world where we have to take care of our health and pay our bills. But how are you doing it? Everything has to be on the high frequency, or else you will experience the repercussions of the low frequency choices. That's all it is. So everything in your life is coming back at you in the low frequency. So some of it may appear as negative, like losing a job or losing a relationship or something else, when in actuality, if you are on the high frequency and you really are making those higher choices, it's going away for a reason, because you're supposed to be in something else that's going to be so way better for you. Better, meaning it's going to feel really good and expansive and positive. You're going to feel amazing, right? So low frequency doesn't feel good, right? You can't take a pill, get rid of it. You just can't. That's worse. That's feeding the material world that's got lower frequency. It doesn't allow you to make your own choices. It obliterates that. So you got to walk away from that stuff. You don't have to be some perfect little thing that never has a glass of wine or a coffee. And you can say, oh, coffee's bad. I don't think it is. Wine is bad. I don't think it is. I don't think that there are a lot of things that are bad, but does it serve others? Is somebody else going to be sacrificed or not benefit from this? You know, am I purchasing anything that is causing plastic to go out in our oceans and dumps that your kids, that our next generations will have to live with, because we made those choices? I'm a baby boomer, and you talk about messing up the planet. So younger generations can say, you guys messed it up. And I'm going to say, well, what are you doing? Because you are too. If you are doing any of that stuff, it will change when we make higher choices. And there are a lot of really high choices right now. Go into my description, and I've got a list of all the things that you can do, and none of them are coming in plastic, none of them are toxic, and none of them harm animals. I found them. I find them, and I promote them, and I support the companies that do that, because then if they flourish, more people will purchase their stuff. And those who do the negative stuff will want to get on board with that. That's how it works. And you change the algorithm, just like we talked about YouTube. What's going on? All these channels are losing subscribers and viewers. Why? They're controlling it. But you control what you watch. So you have to make the effort to go find those channels, to find those better things. Not conspiracy, but meditation and Tesla and Einstein. Study all these really cool things and see how much we've progressed and how many people in the past have given us these answers. Christ is one of them. Christ is one of them. And so you could say, well, Christ was, another thing. No, Christ was still a human being, and he experienced things here as an unconscious person. Anger. He lost his faith for a moment. He studied everything here. He experienced being a human, and he demonstrated how to go into the higher frequency as a human, even with that horrible ending. But the ending was even the ultimate demonstration that no matter what, he never lost. That total unconditional love, even for those in the basement. He demonstrated it. So he had to go into that to prove that the ultimate, okay, yeah, it was great to love everybody until something really bad happens. Now can you love them anyways? Yes, you can, if you choose. Can you do it today? What am I manifesting? What am I manifesting? What am I manifesting? What am I creating? What frequency am I on? What frequency is this? What frequency is that? It's going to take a while. We're in a world that has, somebody said, yeah, your camera that's plastic. Yeah. Yeah. So we got to do our best with what we have. Recycling. When I say recycle, I don't mean like recycle your plastic. It's okay, because less than 8% actually gets recycled. It's baloney. Don't use it. Go to resale, go to consignment, give, and sell, exchange, right? So there are so many ways for you to live in a completely new world, and it's going to open the gateway, because when we go into this shift again to a higher frequency, because more people are choosing that, you're going to feel it. I actually felt it this week. This is actually, today's Easter. I actually felt it this week. I felt like I was living in a different reality. And it felt really great. And my dreams are amazing. Beautiful, beautiful dreams. And I thought, we just shifted into something else. Okay. Big bird. Big bird. Are you ready to do this? Try it. Your whole reality will change. Different people will come into your life. Different things will show up. And you have to be conscious of it. And don't judge any of it. Just go with what is this best, highest choice for me. Don't judge what you think is right and wrong. Go with what you know is the better choice. Be really honest with yourself. You know. You know. I don't have to tell you. Do you need to argue a point? Do you need to tell somebody what to do? Do you need to criticize somebody or judge because you're right and they're wrong? That's not enlightenment. So remember the 3 words? I don't know. Is our current government evil? They're up to something bad? I don't know. Are those crazy lights in British Columbia that somebody said, oh, they're extraterrestrials? Are they? I don't know. Why are we here? I don't know. My guess, my gut feeling is just expansion of creation. To experience everything. Just to experience it. And to not judge it or know it. To experience it. To experience it is to know it. Remember the knowing in my book? The last chapter? I don't know. Those who are in the most awakened states as human beings don't have to have answers, because they no longer function as an ego. Egos want answers. Ego blames. Ego separates. Right, wrong, takes sides, and fights for things. We're the awakened ones, and they're going to, they're never going to make it. And they may be the very ones that do, and you don't, because you're still judging them. Let it all go. I don't know. I don't know. But everyone is absolutely perfect. Everyone. Because everything is of Source. And Source is perfect, which means you are. And if you don't believe in Source, then why are you here? What made you? What created you? Something did. So there must be a source. Maybe you don't like the word God. All right. That's a programming that makes you think that there's something or someone out there if you don't want that. Because for me, Source is all things. Ye are all gods. These things you shall do and more. It's not a religious thing for me. It just is. It just is. You ready for that? So please subscribe. Come on over to Digital Explorers if you want to create a planet conscious business online. Take advantage of the internet. We're using AI and it's a lot of fun. You're just going to create something amazing for yourself, and we decide what that is. I actually work with you to find out what that is with no rules. I never tell you you can't do something. If you want to do it, we figure out how to monetize it. So I use business and the ability to monetize and create your own intellectual property along with the higher frequency. These are higher frequency choices, digitalexplorers.net is. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.